All right, let's dive right in. For decades, the whole topic of UFOs has been wrapped in layer after layer of secrecy. Today, we're going to peel some of those layers back and explore the alleged dirty tricks used to keep that secret, all based on some pretty extraordinary claims from Dr. Stephen Greer. We're going to break down the supposed playbook piece by piece. And this really is the central question, isn't it? If any of what we're about to go through is true, we'd be talking about the most complex, most ruthless cover-up in all of human history. So how on earth could that even be possible? Let's get into the alleged mechanics of it. So to understand the methods, we first have to get a handle on the stakes. According to the source material we're looking at, this isn't just some run-of-the-mill government secret. No, this is supposedly the biggest one of all.
This quote, it's from a declassified Canadian government document, way back in 1950. Just let that sink in for a second. More secret than the H-bomb. At the height of the Cold War, this was considered more important to hide than the most powerful weapon on Earth. If that's your starting point, it kind of implies that any and all measures would be on the table to protect it.
Okay, so the first layer of this alleged cover-up isn't about hiding physical objects. It's psychological. It's described as a full-on war for your mind, for public perception. The strategy is apparently a multi-pronged attack. First, you make the whole subject a joke. You create such a social stigma that no serious person wants to touch it. Then, you link it to sensational, unbelievable tabloids. In fact, the source material claims the guy who founded the National Enquirer was a CIA psychological warfare agent, and this was his exact job. On top of that, you allegedly bribe some academics to create fake events, and, maybe most subtly, you control the very words we use to even talk about it. And you can see this alleged control reflected in our language over the years. What started as contactees, which sounds pretty neutral, even positive, was replaced with abductions, a terrifying, violent act. The whimsical flying saucers became the sterile, bureaucratic UFOs, and now UAPs. Even extraterrestrials is being swapped out for the more vague, non-human intelligence. According to Greer, every single one of these changes was a deliberate move to frame the conversation around fear, threat, and ambiguity. So that's how you handle the public. But what happens when a specific person, an insider, gets too close to the real story? Well, the next layer of the alleged cover-up deals with them directly, using a classic system of rewards and punishments. It's that classic two-pronged approach you've probably heard of, the carrot and the stick. The carrot is all about temptation. It's offering money, fame, anything to buy someone's cooperation. The stick, well, the stick is about fear. It's using blackmail, threats, and in the most extreme cases mentioned in the source material, even assassination to guarantee silence. And to give you a sense of just how big that carrot can be, Dr. Greer himself claims that back in 1992, he was personally offered $2 billion. The deal was to basically come on board, join the program, and help manage the secrecy. So yeah, that's the kind of money allegedly being thrown around. But then there's the stick, and this is where it gets really dark. Greer alleges that a common tactic is to entrap potential whistleblowers by planting illegal materials on their computers to blackmail them. He goes even further, claiming that major historical figures who were seen as a threat to the secret, people like Marilyn Monroe or even General Patton, were actually murdered, with their deaths staged to look like suicides or accidents. So, beyond just shaping the narrative and silencing people, the next alleged strategy is to get proactive, to actually create disinformation and just flood the zone with so many fake events that nobody knows what to believe. The metaphor used in the source material is pretty powerful. If you can't hide the tiny gold nugget of truth, you just bury it under a massive mountain of fool's gold. The whole idea is that if you create thousands of convincing hoaxes and fake stories, it becomes almost impossible for the average person, or even a journalist, to sort out what's real from what's fiction. Now, according to Greer's sources, this deception goes as far as staging fake alien abductions. The claim is absolutely wild, that secret, man-made craft that look like UFOs are used, along with manufactured biological creatures. They call them programmed life forms that look just like aliens. You combine that with some advanced psychological warfare tech to make the experience absolutely terrifying, and the result is you reinforce that public narrative that there's a hostile alien threat out there. So you have to ask yourself why. Why go through all of this incredible and frankly terrifying trouble? According to the source, the real reason for this epic level of secrecy,
Well, it's not what most people think it is. The idea that non-human intelligence exists and is visiting Earth, that's only the first layer of the secret. In a way, that's the cover story for something much, much bigger, something far more disruptive to our world.
This right here is the alleged heart of the matter. The real secret isn't who they are, it's what they have. It's the claim that we captured their technology, and over decades, we figured out how it works. And this technology could literally change everything. At the very core of this supposed recovered tech is something called zero-point energy. Basically, it's the idea of tapping into the vast, untapped energy that exists in the vacuum of space itself. I mean, think of it like an invisible, universal power grid that's everywhere, all at once. If you could harness it, you'd have limitless, clean energy for the entire planet forever.
And this is why the secret is guarded so heavily. Because think about the implications. If you release this technology, the oil, gas, and coal industries would be obsolete overnight. It could end pollution. It could end poverty. But it would also completely shatter the global economy as we know it and threaten the entire geopolitical power structure that's built on controlling energy.
The financial interests we're talking about aren't in the billions. They're in the trillions, maybe even hundreds of trillions of dollars. When you think about the entire global energy and financial system that would be upended. And that, according to the source, is the ultimate motive for keeping the secret locked down at any and all costs. So we end up back where we started, but with a brand new question. We've gone through the alleged dirty tricks, from psychological warfare all the way to assassination, but maybe the how isn't as important as the why. If this technology is real, what would its release actually mean for us, for our world? That's the thought we're going to leave you with.